From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host,
Well, you're back, I can tell. Well, this is City Councilman Kat Skwatowski and
DJ Barker from Cat
TV?
Television.
How come it never was Dog TV?
Maybe Saturday.
That's our competition.
Oh, okay.
Woof.
Is it good?
Woof. Just, how you been? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a meeting last week. That's why we didn't have the show, but
Ah, okay.
very important pension meeting.
Ah, yes.
Go ahead, caller. You're first one.
Okay, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'd like to start by saying I'm glad they're finally done with East 38th Street. I can't believe they started that project right when school was starting.
I think a lot of that, I'm going to try to get the true answer, but I believe from everything we were told, the Commonwealth is going to be, PennDOT is going to be paving parts of that next year, I think. So I think it was pretty much they had to get it done, because they don't want to like have PennDOT pave it and then go in there and dig it up.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the paving, but
Yeah.
it was just tough taking my grandson to school. I had to use all these side streets that
Yeah,
I hadn't seen in years.
right. I guess there's just no easy way of doing it. I think they're going to actually start, and I asked not the traffic engineer, I was talking with the other engineer, and I couldn't get a definitive answer about whether they're going up Pine Avenue next, but I'm going to call the water department when I get off the air and see if I believe that they're going to actually head south on Pine from 38th. At least a couple of businesses told me that, so you're going to have a problem there for a little while.
Okay, well, the main thing I wanted to call in about today is I was listening to your November 7th show for a few minutes before you started today's show, and you were talking about the Veterans Day Parade.
Right.
We always say that we honor our veterans, and I'm a veteran myself, and I love the veterans too. But you always hear people say, "Oh, I love them. We should do everything we can to help them out and respect them and all that." I'd like to know, out of all the parades we have in Erie, why do the veterans have to suffer with their parade and be the only ones that have to march uphill?
Oh, you know what? I never did get an answer to that. The only thing I can figure is that for some reason they always wanted that parade to, well, in the old days, not the last couple of years, that parade always ended up at the VA hospital where they had the ceremonies.
Well, what I'm saying is, can't they have the ceremonies ahead of time, like between 10 and 11 o'clock, and then everybody go over to Jefferson School or wherever they could start up there?
And then march down to the stadium.
And have the parade end at the stadium. After all, it is called Veterans Memorial Stadium.
You're right. It was dedicated actually to the World War I veterans.
Yeah. I'm not attacking anybody that plans the parade or anything, but I just, you see all these old guys, and I know a lot of them are in cars and trucks and so forth, and a lot of them don't walk. But why have people walk uphill if you don't have to?
Well, I was marching with the Vietnam veterans, and a couple of them who have some ailments. I think by the time we get up to WICU, a couple of them were feeling it a little bit.
Yeah.
What I can do is I can bring it up to I think it's the VA that does it.
Okay.
I can ask them, I said, could we terminate it? Obviously, I don't think they want to have the ceremonies at the stadium. I think they're always worried about the weather. But maybe we can do the parade a little different,
Yeah, it's just a suggestion. And I see Stumka's not on the show today. I just want to tell him he's worried about all these refugees coming over, all 10,000, like as if they're all coming at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather pay a little bit more in taxes to educate them people than have my tax money go to build some more nuclear bombs and airplanes and tanks that we don't need.
Yep.
Well, I think a lot of people, they blame all the immigrants as a whole, and I'm going, there are many immigrants that took jobs with janitorial services that do City Hall and stuff. I got to know them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of them, they're not only is their wife working, they're working. When they get out of here, and they don't work for us, they work for like bonded maintenance, let's say. Some of them are going out and working at the pie factory or someplace else, and a lot of them are trying to get ahead. So to give a blanket statement that they're all bad or all on the public dole, that's not
Well,
not
we
fair to
as
them.
Americans are really good at generalizing and then putting everybody in a group and slapping a label on it when they got to remember the old saying, one bad apple.
Well, we forget that we were all immigrants at one time,
Yeah, exactly.
and all of our grandparents
This country is based
faced
on
the same
immigrants.
Well, I was always afraid of Trump and all these politicians that we have now. We're here in 1901 that they might not have let my grandparents into the country.
Yeah,
Slovakia being a potato farmer nowadays if they didn't let my grandparents into the country.
Well, if you're, I don't know if you're my age, but it wasn't a great ride for, the immigrants came over into Erie in waves. I think it was the Irish and German first, and then the Polish and Italian pretty much came in on the second wave. And if they didn't actually get a welcome tossed out to them a lot of times,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just wanted to point out some of these things. Nice talking to you guys. I'll give somebody
Me too.
else a chance.
well, that's okay. I'm going to take your thing about the veterans into. I'll talk to them when I get up there and talk to the director.
Yeah, because year after year you watch the news on one of the local stations and you see them marching up State Street, and I'm thinking, well, a lot of them veterans are over the age of 60. Why
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're like me and you're
other way?
what-
Go downhill.
the Korean War veterans are, they're in their 70s or older. There's a few World War II veterans left. My era, the Vietnam guys are, if they're, 67.
The age of 70 almost.
Yeah, and so, it's not going to get any easier for anybody. But I can understand it because, the ones that marched, by the time we were three-quarters, some of them were starting to feel it a little bit.
Well, see who you can talk to, because that sounds like a good
But that's a nice suggestion, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
well, thank you very much.
Yep.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Hey, thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks for
Okay,
calling.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it was a little, when you start going uphill a little bit. I was okay, but I mean,
I'm not anywhere near, as old as some of our veterans, and I can't walk up a hill. So I can imagine what it's like with ailments and
there's a lot of pride in there because nobody wants to
there-
admit.
Yeah, well then they shouldn't have to. You just whoever's planning it makes a better plan. Turn them around and come down the other way. It makes sense.
It is a nice showing though because you see a lot of people on the side there.
Yeah. Well, they'd still have a showing. They'd just be going in the other direction. I think that makes perfect sense.
It's a good suggestion, but I don't know if they'll listen to me. But I'll bring it
Well,
up.
maybe they listen to everybody if everybody's like, hey, why don't you do this? Like all the people that are marching need to stand up and literally and speak for themselves and say,
It's a shame we couldn't. We can't depend on the nice weather and have it at the
yeah, the stadium. Yeah.
or down at the Memorial Park.
Yeah.
That's why we got that Memorial Park down there. It's pretty good.
Right. Hey, speaking of parks, I was at the McClellan Park.
The dog park there.
Yeah, it was like a rededication. They have walking trails and stuff for people.
Well, there's a little secret back there. Mm-hmm. If you know where to look, you can see the foundation of the old, what they call the Spencer's house.
What's that?
Some sisters lived up there, but there's a foundation where the house was.
Yeah.
It turned into a party site over the years, but I was up there with somebody that knew the history, and we were like walking through the rubble.
That would be interesting.
But I always like history and I like walking back there.
Sure, yeah.
But they cleaned up some of the paths, I believe, now.
The Sierra Club worked with the city, and they just had a rededication. They opened up some trails. They're getting a couple of new benches. It's
Well, the
really
neighbors that were there, they actually had a good idea about long-range planning, and one of the things that didn't work out well was over the years I think we had cut into this hill where it was gravel,
Yeah.
and I think they used to use it for a toboggan hill, and
Okay.
so part of it's gone now, and
Yeah.
some of the motocross people used to go through there, but they took care of it. It wasn't destroyed.
Right.
It was well organized,
Yeah.
I think there's room for all that stuff if we, it's a big park up there.
Yeah,
You know.
I never even knew it was there until
And
I had to
properly
go.
maintained, you probably could have, tobogganing or
Yeah.
cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
I know they got other plans up there for athletic fields and stuff, but, yeah, there's like a group up there that's, the McClellan group.
Yeah.
And we actually got another park behind like Tops up there on East 38th.
Yeah, East 38th.
There's a teacher there that's from the school, Connell. She's been, every year she cleans it out.
Yeah.
Now imagine finding, a 50-some inch TV.
Yeah, I remember.
Now think about how would you get it in there, number one? Well, the answer is easy, how you got it in there. Well, why would you take it all the way into the park in the middle?
They wanted to enjoy some TV shows.
There's no power in there, but,
Well, they-
why wouldn't you just throw it at the edge, you think, right?
Yeah.
But I used to see the stuff they cleaned out of her, and she has a plan. She takes her class in there. They do in a little environmental stuff. There's some deer in there, and she was hoping they could do the streams and open them up. But after talking to the Sons of Lake Erie, I don't think it's an easy. There's some problems with that, but she wants to open that up to also, just like the walking trails.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's nice, properly maintained, and if we can keep them secured safely,
Right, right. I love parks. It's
it'd
great
be nice to be able
walk
to
around.
get lost in the woods,
Exactly, yeah.
take a little nature walk. Or,
I was getting a little worried about that at McClelland. I was walking deep in there, and I was like, I hope this comes around. And it
well,
does.
it does, but
Yeah, I didn't know that because I've never been there. It was cool. Yeah, parks are cool. We need a lot of that stuff.
a lot of that, if there's a way we can eventually put like bike trails all over and everything, But no, I took a walk through it. I was kind of amazed at, in all the years I lived in Erie, you learn some history about who the land belonged to.
Oh, sure.
And the sisters of the guy that owned the land let them live there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any pictures that exist of the house, but they called it Spencer's Knob or Spencer's Hill Lake. But if you go, someday you and I will go back there, and I'll show you where it is. Like,
That's cool.
I got pictures of it on my, I download them on my hard drive.
It's funny. I lived here for going on 20 years now, and I had no idea it was there. I lived over on Fairmount Parkway for 6 years, and I still didn't know that park was there.
Yeah, when you go in there, you try to figure out where was the road, where was.
Yeah, exactly. You're
What
driving, and it's
would
like,
this look like? And
yeah, it's cool. We
but
should do
there's a
that.
lot of space back there, tons of space.
Yeah. Well,
And
we're
it's
gonna.
it's an ongoing project. I remember they approached us many years ago. In fact, I believe, that was Project 70 land. At one time, they wanted to, the Kroc Foundation, the McDonald's group, wanted to come in and develop parts of the land out there with recreational facilities.
Well, speaking of that, why can't we get more of that? Can we start approaching people about that stuff now, or do we have to
Well,
wait?
sometimes they approach us.
Yeah.
But sometimes in Erie, there's a feeling that people don't want that stuff, I know,
That feeling may be there
think of
amongst a few
Frontier Park.
people.
For years, Frontier Park sat there.
Yeah.
And it was a nice toboggan hill, and they ran cross-country meets there, but,
Yeah.
they formed a group, and they got a plan.
And that's what it takes.
And I've learned over the years that neither our Parks Department or Public Works, the administration, or anybody's really against citizens that come up with a plan that want to help out,
Right.
kind of adopt a park. In fact, I got a couple offers about from some organizations that want to help maybe fix up some bluffs along our parks.
Yeah.
Help them out and help us out
Right.
by beautifying it and maybe helping them out a little bit, giving them a little more space. And I don't think anybody's really against that as long as there's a plan,
There has to be a plan, and there have to be people will.
Because we have a lot of what they call wilderness parks.
Yeah.
There are parks on, I think that's the term, but there are parks on paper, there's nothing there though.
Yeah.
There's no swing sets or...
Yeah.
And McClellan was like that for a long time, you know.
Is Scott Park like that? Because I went back in there once, and it was just
Scott
like-
Park?
Yeah.
Well, that's Mill Creek, but
Oh, it's Mill Creek. Okay,
I
sorry.
think it is, or the state, Mill Creek, I think.
It looked pretty woody. I didn't see.
Yeah, they wanted to develop that, and the neighbors went nuts, and...
Oh.
So I think, yeah, that's more of a lot of those parks are kind of like rustic, you know, nature
Yeah.
walk, kind of like Zuck Park,
Yeah.
when you go out there and, you know, in Mill Creek. They used to belong to the city. At one time, that belonged to us, and we turned it over, but, yeah, there's so many parks like that, and a lot of times we get approached, but in Erie, there's a feeling like, I remember when the Kroc Foundation came in, they couldn't get any traction. And so now we, you know, we do have, McClellan Park was taken over by the, you know, by the city, and the neighbors kind of are doing things with it.
Right.
You know, it is,
Well, I'd like to see it more. I'd like to see people not going against things like that quite so much, because
Yeah,
it's old
it's-
mindsets.
it's funny the reasons why that happens, but
Yeah.
a lot of times when you have like a lot of vacant land, it only makes sense to, you know, for the public good, fix it up somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know what you know, I wasn't on council then, but I remember, if I remember a little bit about the plan, it was, they wanted to build like a couple gyms and a couple coffee shops and
Yeah.
health places.
Hey.
Maybe even another ice rink. I'm not sure
Yeah.
which in Erie is big, you know.
Don't we have like 3, or we had 3?
But you know what? With ice skating development like it is,
Yeah.
probably not enough. Okay, the Civic Center very rarely is rented out to the public. In fact, probably never.
Yeah.
You know, the Otters probably use it, maybe some other teams.
Right.
Glenwood's under renovation now,
Yep.
and they took out the one at that was on McClellan,
Yes, that skating rink, right?
the old roller skate rink
Yeah,
that became
yeah.
an ice skating rink.
Right.
That's gone, so
Yeah.
you're left with Mercyhurst. And Mercyhurst is, you know, besides their athletic programs, they probably do open up a little bit, which means our team's got to go to like the Jamestown or Meadville to rent ice time.
Yeah.
Gannon doesn't have a facility, but then you read about, you know, they're talking about another ice facility up there at Family First. And I guess, you know, when I was a kid, you know, Glenwood was big enough for, but I remember the old joke was like, the kids that were on Gannon's first club hockey team,
Yeah.
they used to have to skate at like 2 or 3 in the morning. That was the ice time.
Yeah.
Because you had youth hockey,
Yeah.
you had the Erie Lions, you had Westminster skating, which were all set up long before, even before my time. They said there was an outdoor skating rink there, and then somebody decided, let's build an ice rink next to the zoo, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the start of hockey and everything in Erie, but
Cool. I have a question.
yeah,
Is this thing on?
yes.
We are live right now.
So you're waiting for phone calls.
We're waiting for phone calls. Yeah.
They might be on their way to Turkey Land,
They're on their way to Turkey Land. You know what?
but
It's Thanksgiving coming up. A few more days.
yes, you're going out of town too?
I am going out of town.
I am too.
Family.
Would it be
That's all
fair
I
to
got.
say if you're a turkey, this is a sad time?
This is a sad time for turkeys.
But your demise already happened, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here's a question nobody's ever answered,
Okay.
okay? Nonpartisan question. Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. Okay? A turkey that gets pardoned,
You want to know if that's a Republican or a Democrat?
no, the question is, the president's still eating turkey, right?
Yeah.
What gives?
I don't know.
It's almost better if you get picked,
Yeah.
because the second turkey's the one that's, if he clucks the loudest, he's going to end up as a guest of honor at the president's dinner, right?
Yep.
Oop,
Oh, come on, guys. Give us a phone call.
we got to get the answer. What happened to that?
I don't know. Hey, speaking of presidents,
Yeah.
How about those Browns?
What are you getting at?
I'm getting to nothing.
You a Steeler fan?
No. I'm good.
We had a ringy-dingy, but
Yeah, come on. One more. Make it happen. Don't make me call us.
I'm waiting. I got to
I'll call.
find. I tried to call our good buddy John. I haven't been able to get a hold of him.
Yeah, what's going on with him? I haven't heard from
I
him
get
in
calls over here about where's John.
probably about a month. I haven't heard from him.
I got to call him when I get off the air if he doesn't call me now.
There was the time that he was on and the show got pulled, and then one time after that, and that's the last time I've seen him. Don't know. John, where are you? Call us. I have absolutely nothing. We're going into the slow season over at CAT, so luckily I don't have
Well, I
any
actually got-
festivals to work on.
I actually got some calls about winter problems already.
Yeah.
Not that there was any severe, but
one snow.
I
And
do have my homework ahead of me now. I gotta
Yeah,
solve this couple of issues.
you got to solve issues.
I'll get
already.
answers for them. Sometimes you get the answers that aren't pleasant,
Yeah.
but there's still questions.
You know, not everything can be a good answer. You have to learn to deal with the bad ones.
Go ahead, caller.
Kaz, how about a public service announcement? Is the trash night getting changed because of Thanksgiving?
Ooh, good question. You know what I'll do?
Yeah.
I'll have my trusty city clerk staff find out for me.
Yeah, I mean, because it could change. You know, it's,
They usually tell you in the back of that flyer that we send out, but
that way people are aware of what they're doing with the leftovers. Hey, look, you know, there's a lot of exciting things that happened. God bless Erie Insurance Exchange, you know, and what they're doing down there. I don't know what we'd do without them.
well, you know, I actually had some people one time that they were questioning me the other day, and I said they thought that we shouldn't give them. The discussion came up about Nick Scott, and then went into Erie Insurance.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I'm not against giving help to Erie Insurance or Nick Scott.
Yeah.
When we did it to what do you call it, Smith's Provision,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and other groups that if they turn around, if they're good, you know, if these are good businesses in Erie that aren't going to move,
Yeah, they are, Kaz.
and you know, if we can help them out, but people forget in the past we helped Erie Insurance quite a bit, if you remember,
Yeah.
when we cleaned up the corner of 6th and
Yeah.
what was it, 6th and French there and everything.
You know, Kaz, I remember going to that colonial-style building on East 6th there and going into a teller and making a payment on my car insurance years ago, you know, and
Yeah.
now they're, and I'll tell you another thing that we're lucky to have. Erie Insurance Exchange is a good insurance company. They're not, they manage to keep their rates down. Now, I'm sure you'll hear somebody that's probably got a bad driving record that says they pay too much, but I found them after I made a change a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I saved hundreds of dollars by going from the Hartford to Erie Insurance, and I thought the Hartford was doing me well, but after I did a little investigation, Erie Insurance saved me quite a bit of money, you know. So they're good. They're good for the community.
It's always amazing when you're out of town.
Yeah.
And I've seen them all the way down to Virginia and other places. You know, you see that logo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, wow, that's my hometown. But
Yeah.
you know, I like it. You know, when they ask for a little bit of help, I don't care because they're providing, like this new building is going to give them more jobs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What is it, a $300 million project?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure, but you know, think about this. When it was crunch time, they moved 300 employees out to 26 in Asbury.
Right.
You know, because they were short on room.
And you know what we got to be careful of, although we don't think it could happen. They could very easily move to Connecticut or Delaware.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, where they got these better corporate issues.
Yeah.
So we have one of the leading companies in the United States
Yeah.
who's not located in Connecticut or Delaware.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No.
I'm not afraid to help them. And you know, like it came up about Nick Scott, and I said, look, Nick was expected to build a hotel on his own dime.
Yeah.
And when he didn't, they turned around, they built it with taxpayer dime. So, I mean, if we have to help merchants and they pay back their loans,
Yeah.
and
Cass, and the argument with the Scots, I think you should help Nick Scott all you can. He's local. When we give help to the Sheraton and that other hotel that's down there, they're actually based in Illinois.
right, and they're not paying any taxes. Nick's going to pay taxes.
Taxes and any profit goes to Illinois. At least if the Scots got the profit, they'd probably reinvest it in this area. Even if it went to Peek. I mean, it's still part of my area. Illinois, I'm not, I don't get any benefit from that. But yeah, I think we need to help people like that.
I think Erie people sometimes have an aversion to their own making money.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But somebody from out of town, they can come in and...
I mean, hey, I'm sure Nick Scott, he probably has a few flaws, but he's a businessman, and he's going to have to...
Hey, look, the first time I met Nick, I used to tell him the story about how... I didn't deal with him directly, but... he's a tough businessman. I'll give him that, and I told him that to his face. But if I ever had a project that I wanted to know if it could make money, I'd probably ask him.
Right.
I'd ask him, Tom Kennedy, a few others like him.
I get Rick Griffin, Berlin. Those are the minds you need to gather in one room.
And I put Tom Kennedy in it.
On 14th and Peach there.
And I put Tom Kennedy in that group too.
Yeah.
These are people who put their own dime up there. And
Oh yeah, you put your own money, you put your own skin in the game.
I know we came under fire with, when we did this revolving loan thing. But the genesis of that was that our revolving loan funds extended.
Yeah.
I mean, we've lent it out, and if you drive around town, I know it's not a big deal, but take a look at the Dairy Queen on Pine Avenue.
Yeah.
He took advantage of that now.
Yeah.
He could very easily move over the border.
Yeah.
He could take his business elsewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a big business?
Yeah.
No, but it hires a lot of kids during the summer.
Yeah.
It offers a quality of life. And so we were thinking the other day, a month or two ago, about we were approached by Chris Groner, and we had some money that we could actually transfer with permission, and we did that. So now we got more money to loan out for.
Oh, the guy the economic fellow upstairs. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and he does a good job. And it's not like we just willy-nilly lend money out. We have a group of consultants that are on a board that, people in the business world that look over the loans, and we've been very rarely have we ever, been taken.
Yeah.
The payment record is as good as any bank or lending institution.
Yeah.
But like when you talk about Velocity Net coming into Erie, that's a major thing.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. The Rothrock building. I mean.
And Tony and Guys, and what they got planned in the area, like another little restaurant. And
yeah. No, that's good. I mean, and those are the things we need to ballyhoo a little bit about,
and that's why we wanted to start that fund to give them a little help,
But Kaz, one thing, and you just passed it, the land bank, and I think it's probably a good idea, but the main ingredient missing when you talk about new housing and refreshing the housing in the area
right.
Our population base is eroding. So, you can fix these places up, but we don't really have a ready, available group of tenants that need a place to live.
Well, if you read Bookie's report, people read what they want out of that report.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you read it, right?
Well, I read it as much as I read legalese.
Yeah.
Well,
it was a nice guide, and I always tell them my fellow compatriots, I tell the media, the press, and everything that, you guys pick and choose what you like out of the report. But I read the report for 2 solid days while I was flying. Flying back and forth to my daughter's.
Yeah.
I read it going out, read it coming back, and there's a lot to be taken out of the report. But there's a part in there where he says Erie may never ever again be 130 or 120, maybe not even 100,000.
Yeah.
that maybe, you know, we're destined to be an 80 to 85,000 city. So with that, he says, and this is where he said, this is where you want to reclaim some of the property and maybe extend the yards a little bit. You know, where, like, part of this project, like, if we use the land bank to claim housing, we don't necessarily have to put 3 houses where 3 houses were.
Right.
You know, maybe it's only 1.5, you know. Maybe we give them a little more problem. And he said also to put more, like, parks every so often where the neighborhood has a place to, you know, like, you know, where kids can play baseball or kids can shoot hoops or whatever.
You know, Kaz, I go down Parade every now and then, and there's been quite a few houses torn between 26th and 21st. It's almost nice where there's a house, a beat-up house is gone, and there's a yard there that's taken care of. It's that green space, and it's appealing to people. You know, but when everybody's piled up on top of each other, not only is it cars piled up on top of each other, it's human beings piled up on each other, and it's just not a good environment. You know, it's just not.
Yeah, maybe we can start building, like, what do you call it? You know, we can always, what do you call it, react to a need. If God bless, something happened that, you know, all of a sudden we were getting people coming in again.
But we do. You know, we've got almost all the ingredients to become successful. We've got a couple hospitals, 4 great schools. We've got an anchor tenant downtown with Erie Insurance. What we need some jobs where people get dirty, make a good living, go home tired, and can have a family-sustaining wage.
Well, you know, the thing is...
that desperately, Kaz. And I know that's not easy. That's all pie-in-the-sky stuff. But somehow we got to get jobs for people that don't have MBAs and stuff, and put those people to work where they can be proud to go to work, make a paycheck, and buy groceries, have a car.
Well, what I'm afraid of, and I think this is the way the country's heading. You told me in the past you worked at Kaiser.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the Kaisers will come back, but they're not going to come back in the form you remember them.
Well,
you know,
no, maybe not.
And I don't know what the salary scale was back then, you know.
Oh, no, guys, it was, you know, I worked with 300 people up to probably a maximum of 600 people, and you made a good living. The people I work with had homes and cars and could enjoy life like you're supposed to if you go to work and get paid a decent wage. And that's gone now. We're struggling that way. You know?
Yeah, and even if they do come back, you know, I think GE fired a shot across the bow.
Yeah.
And they're saying that, you know, they can get away with it. I mean, they're looking at places where the states will not only build them the plant, but they want to, I'll say the nasty word, right to work.
Work state, yeah.
And, you know, that seems to be what...
I'll let somebody else try to call in. If nobody calls, maybe I'll shout out at you.
Before you go, I just want to let you know I looked it up, and the garbage pickup is normal.
Normal?
It's going to be normal.
Oh, the
City of Erie website says it's only going to change on Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to shift by 1 day later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thanks, DJ.
No problem.
For everybody.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, have a good holiday there, Rich.
All right.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean, he brings up a good point. And
Yeah.
maybe, you know, that Buki report, it's people take out of there what they want, but they don't read the whole thing sometimes. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead. Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, you're on. Hello? Is he on?
Lost him.
Okay, if you're on the air, you got to be careful if you're listening to your TV because there is a delay on there. So turn the TV down or your radio, not your TV rather.
Or your internet. Turn your internet down.
There you go. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I'm calling to find out about compost and leaf pickup. Is that going to be extended because all the leaves are still on the trees? Even with all this weather down here in Lower West Side, there's a lot of leaves on the trees.
I'll
I'll
go
have to look that one up because I didn't see that on the website.
I'll go check over there.
Yeah.
Because I believe December 6th is the last last day. I can't remember, but that's only another another week or two. And like I said, even with all this wind we've had this weekend, my trees in my yard and trees on my street are still...
Oh, yeah, my trees in the backyard are still got leaves on them.
Yeah, there's a lot of leaves out there, so...
I'll see if I can find out real quick for you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, can you monitor this for a minute?
Yeah, well, I'm going to look it up here, too.
I'll just check real quick.
Annual leaf collection, City of Erie. Let's see what I can find. So, it begins. When does it end? Taxpayers Hotline, how can we help you?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Kaz will be right back. He just stepped out to look something up. Oh, if you want. What's up?
Hey, no, by rights, with those hotels down there,
Yeah.
I'll get your opinion on this. Any Erie County residents should get a discount for staying in those hotels.
That makes a lot of sense. It really does.
You're getting double taxed because I'm sure there's some kind of tax on your bill,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And you're already paying because these people aren't paying taxes. So they
Yeah.
ought to give you that, or they ought to make that
So as citizens, we're paying for the operation of the hotel in part, and then if we were to stay there, we're also paying the 11% room tax.
yeah, it's like double taxation.
That is a legitimate concern, and when Kaz comes back in, I will definitely bring it back up.
When you write your bill, I'm sure there's some kind of tax on there, some kind of residency tax.
One way or the other, money that you're paying to your taxes is probably going to it if it's a county organization.
But I mean, yeah, if anybody just wanted to have a nice hotel room for, I mean, I don't, they're not traveling anywhere. But
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to just go stay in hotels just because it gets me out of the house.
I love staying in hotels.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Your caller here had a valid point.
Yes.
He thinks people might be getting double taxed if we as residents are staying in the hotel. Number one, we're paying for the fact that the hotel is there out of our taxes.
Well, we got to pay the room tax.
And we're
too.
paying the room tax.
Yeah.
So we're getting double taxed. He thinks maybe we should get like some sort of a discount.
In
I
Pennsylvania,
agree.
the way they levy taxes,
Yeah.
well, it's like the occupational tax.
Yeah.
Think about that. You, as a resident, the whole purpose of the occupational tax,
Yeah.
or now what they call the emergency tax, that's supposed to be for people that live outside the geographical boundaries,
Yeah.
the political boundaries of the community, right?
Right.
Yet, because we have to have fair and equitable taxing by state law,
Yeah.
you get hit there too. Well, I agree with you, sir, but they're not going to change that. That's a Commonwealth issue, and there's something about equal taxation. And I agree with you, because what you should be able to do is, if you show your license and you say that you live within the county, you should be exempt from the taxes. But that's probably not going to happen.
No, they're not going to give us a break on anything down here. It's just...
I'll give you an example who does. If you go to Pittsburgh, and they have what they call the Pittsburgh Zoo, right?
Yeah.
And if you go there with an Erie card from the Erie Zoo, where there's a cooperative thing about you don't pay, just like Pittsburgh people don't pay at ours.
Yeah.
But in Allegheny County, if you live in Allegheny County, you get to go there for free, but people outside Allegheny County, they have to pay. And how they do it, they look at your driver's license. So it can be done, but no, I agree with you. That's why the hotels actually sued the county and everything, because they were saying they have to collect a tax, which actually helps one of their competitors, because the money they get from the room tax, part of it goes to subsidize the interest payments on that hotel. So they weren't too happy about it. That was Nick Scott and the Avalon and a few others.
Yeah. See, the El Patio Hotel has been torn down. What do you think is going to go in there?
In the El Patio?
Yeah.
It wasn't Waldemar bought that, or?
It's been raised, Kaz. It's done. It's gone.
Who bought it?
I think Waldemar bought it, didn't they?
I didn't hear that. Did you? Did you hear that?
Not exactly, but I think everything that's around her has been going to Waldemar for either parking or eventual expansion of their park. Because if you notice that as they come out more and more into the parking lot, they've been buying more parking too.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's two businesses that are on each side of their cab, so it's not really.
That's where they built the Sheets, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, you got Sheets on one side, and then you got the Geiger Monument Place on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still both businesses that are, they're not going anywhere.
I just thought maybe I heard some about the El Patio being bought by Mr. Nelson at Waldemar. I'll give them a call and ask them.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but well, who knows?
I know long range that they, as they expand their park and they take over some of their parking lot area, they've been buying more parking,
Yeah.
Because like the new water ride park, that went out into the old parking lot quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll
I don't know if that would fit him or not, but
I'll see if I can find out from either one of my Mill Creek supervisor friends or I'll call Waldemar and see if they'll tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say online. It just says it's still zoned for tourism, so they don't know what's going to go in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, one more question for DJ.
Is.
On Cat TV, you used to have a show, what was it, the Metropolitan Music and Arts?
Yeah, it's the Metropolis Music DVD and Art.
So is that guy still doing it? I used to enjoy his show. Is he still doing it?
Yeah, he's usually on like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night around 10 o'clock in that neighborhood somewhere.
You guys got a guide, like a channel guide? Not really?
We don't. We used to, but they started charging a lot of money for it, and we don't have it right now.
I would enjoy that. He'd show old music videos and...
He does. He plays a lot of Madonna and
he'd take a little,
he did a Prince tribute. Yeah, he does that. He does. He goes to like all sorts of different venues and tape stuff, and then he plays like music videos. No, it's just local. It's one of our Israel Stone is the producer. He's a performer, and he likes to do it. So yeah, it's still on the air. It's usually around 10 o'clock, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I try to keep them in there.
If they're not sure?
Yeah, if they're not sure, you can check our website. It's our online schedule. You can check it, catverie.org, and then just go to program schedule.
Yeah, that's what's nice about you guys. I love the local stuff. I mean, whether it's local radio in the morning.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, you only get like an hour or two of local news.
Yeah.
So it's just so very little local,
I've always wanted to do a real news show, not this national, that. This is Erie, and this is what's going on in Erie. But
that would be a great idea.
I just have no time. I honestly don't. But if we could get a member that was interested in that and they wanted to come join up, I would help them make that show.
Yep. We need more local television and radio. I mean, even on the radio, it goes quiet for local stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
O'clock until 4.
Well, the trouble with a lot of local radio now, it's all national.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've gotten rid of the local personalities or DJs, whatever you want to call them. It's like that all over the country. It seems like that's the new radio.
Yeah, but then, you're losing touch with, I can listen to Rush Limbaugh on 4 different channels on my radio probably right now. He's everywhere. It's
yeah.
Well, I actually enjoyed when they used to have the local talk on 2 different stations, and then you had sports talk and everything, and that was kind of different,
Yeah, I wish we could get that back, but.
And then when you had the personalities playing what Erie people wanted to hear, like music-wise, and.
That's too bad. All the good things go away, Kaz.
It seems that way. It's a different world today. There's no more newspapers, no more local radio, TV, as much,
Okay, I'll let you guys, Joe. Okay.
All right, thanks.
We got an answer on,
Oh, good, because I was just going to say, what I found
Yeah.
was that it was originally scheduled till November 26th, but I found nothing beyond that.
but no, it says December 1st for the compost.
Okay.
And as of this time, it's still December 1st for leaves and compost. However, as we get closer to that date, and they have chance that maybe it's going to be depending upon the weather and other factors,
Right.
that could be extended. So I'm sure there'll be a public service announcement if they did. So they are open to extending it. I think at this point, they're just kind of waiting to see whether we get hit by a ton of snow, and because we don't, once that hits, there's only so many drivers, so many trucks.
Yeah.
We go into a snow mode then.
Yeah, definitely.
So as of now, it's still December 1st, but that's subject to change.
Yep.
Who's ringing?
It's not me. I'm still looking for stuff on the El Patio. It says they had an auction on October the 8th, but
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it seems like Waldemar was really involved in a lot of the
it's good
projects.
possibility. I mean, they got a lot of stuff they could expand in there. They could put something there.
But it's an interesting park when you read about what they've done over the years.
Yeah.
And as they take
Oh,
over,
yeah.
as they take over their parking
Yeah,
lot,
definitely.
they move into the parking lot. They have to get more parking.
Yeah.
It's good to have a park that big. Not many communities have an amusement park.
It's nice. It's got an eerie flavor to it. You go in there and it's like, oh, it's not one of these national Six Flags with all the commercial stuff. It's a local park, and it's successful. So that's great.
Yeah, I remember the old days when he had Conneaut and at Waldemar, but
Yeah.
days are gone. But
So what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought. Couldn't figure out the El Patio, but we can look that up.
we were talking about a lot of stuff, and I said, what was it?
Cat, talking about cat, doing cat stuff.
Well, I used to enjoy some of those shows on there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to make some of them myself. Ever since I became an employee, I have not had time to make.
Well, you guys are doing a good job, but,
It's been interesting.
You're being stretched, your assets.
I've been with them. Oh, I thought you were saying something else. No,
Well, I think it's fun that, when you look at, you give local people a chance.
yeah.
There's a lot of interesting shows, and I know a lot of them, for shut-ins, you have the churches and
Yeah, I mean,
various things doing that, and then you have, it's interesting to get different viewpoints of, how people, like you got the Grays and,
yeah, I mean, and that's all 100% local. They come here, they're from Erie, they're in Erie, and they're giving it to Erie.
I always told you I would love if I could work into my schedule
We
to take
still
this
need
show
to
into
talk
an,
about it.
take this show on at night, or really open up with a show that, what do you say?
No, I still want to do Kaz After Dark. Kaz After Dark.
It'd be interesting. I mean, like you and I, if we could really go around town and maybe wake up some people's eyes about
wish we-
what really exists
I
out there.
wish our schedules were.
There's a side of Erie, good and bad,
Yeah.
that people never see.
People don't see a lot of stuff because when you depend on normal media to see what's going on, you usually get a biased, tilted image of what's going on. Like, for example, this whole thing going on with the North Dakota, the pipeline going through the land that is owned by the Native Americans, yet somehow it's still being pushed and forced through. There's people there that are broadcasting it through social media so people can see actually what's happening. And then you turn around and you look on CNN and they're saying the exact opposite thing.
Well,
They're
so-
saying people are being violent. They're saying people are starting fires and throwing stuff at the police. And you see what's actually happening through social media. So social media itself is a good, powerful tool. And that's what,
It is, but it's also, you gotta
when
be-
used properly. How about
Yeah.
if I add that?
well, that's the whole problem. I mean, I don't mind people on social media,
Yeah.
but when they say something about you and you don't know who they are.
Yeah, the anonymity is a problem sometimes. And
I mean, if you're going to put a product out there, you should be proud of it.
one of the problems with social media is the fact that people think their opinion is law. It's my opinion, so it must be right. The sky is purple, so obviously
Well, you know, if
you can't disagree with
like,
me.
Well, it's like the old argument. If you look at two people who look at the same thing two different ways,
Yeah.
okay?
Right, and that's always going to be a case, but when you give somebody a voice on social media and they have followers and then they think that they really are the law.
Think what social media would have done in the 60s with the protests during the war, you know?
Yeah.
You would have saw different...
Right.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, they ought to take the social media.
Hey, John, you're back.
I just got released today.
I tried to call you last week.
My phone was home. I've been in the hospital since September 29th.
Well,
Wow.
your sister called me. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She called me and told me about you.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When you get old...
Are you okay, though? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm coming around real good. But I just been hearing about this, our young man talking about the pipeline and social media. Well, social media ought to go around here in Erie and take a view of Green Garden Avenue. They ought to take a view of Southwest Erie.
Mm-hmm.
They ought to take a view of Frontier Park, of these freeloaders taking the leaf surface and getting nothing, and I have to pay to have mine taken away.
You mean your leaves?
Yeah.
Well, I was amazed even before I was on council, I had an argument with, you'll love this comment. I said, why is it that in Frontier Park they can leave their leaves on curbside, unbagged, and they get picked up, but I have to either bag mine or put them in a bucket?
And?
And it was,
They got more money than you.
yeah, they pay more taxes. I says, well, then that makes sense, I said, because what should happen then is that because I'm, let's say, maybe in the middle tier, you and I, John,
Yeah.
we should get more services than the people that are paying less than us.
Yeah.
That's what you envision, in other words.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't say that. I said, well, what are you saying? You know, if you're not saying that, then what are you really saying?
That's right.
I mean, you know, either we all, hey, you know what? Yeah, they got a lot of trees up there, but there's a lot of trees in a lot of other parts of the city.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they'll give you the baloney. It's a boulevard, and we have to keep the traffic open.
Hey, years ago, well, they're all gone now, but, you know, if you went down around 30th and Cascade, where I lived, there were a heck of a lot of trees back then. They're mostly all gone now.
Yes.
But, you know, they shed leaves all the time, and I remember my dad hand me a rake, you know.
And get out there and rake it. Then you can burn them.
Yeah, you know, but, you know, we had different rules back then, but, yeah, it just seems like sometimes we get different rules for different areas.
Folks are different folks.
Yep.
But, so you're about ready to go off the air. I'll talk to you later, but I'm on the mend.
Well, that's good because Amelia called me on the radio show, and she was telling me about you, and I said, I hope you're getting better. And I tried to give you a couple of calls, but...
No, my phone has been home here, and I've probably got 900 messages on Facebook, and...
Yeah, I would have... Well, you know what? I lost my computer about a month ago. I've been down, so I haven't been on social media or anything. But I could have snuck in and brought you some contraband.
They've got a real good new computer out now. I forgot how many gigs, but it's a new Dell or Apple. It's loaded with everything for about $900.
Yeah, is that the one with the solid state now or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, mine hit the bricks, and it was like, you know, when you don't realize how dependent you are on it.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen mine. Like I say, I probably have so many hits from Facebook, I won't know how come or go.
But, you know, there's a group that wants to see you on here live.
Yeah.
We got to get you on here, even with you.
Maybe soon.
Wait, maybe we'll give you a mask or something, like the Mask Man?
You won't have to give me mask by the mask, man. I'll come on as is. I'll be like that cute guy next to you.
There's some real interesting pictures out in that social media of you, though.
Yeah, there sure is.
I think they, what do you call that, photoshopped?
shopping.
There's no way you look like that, John. I'm telling you, okay?
Have a great day.
Me too.
There's some pictures of him.
Seriously? You think somebody's photoshopping?
No. But I'd like to joke him because they were back when he was in high school.
Yeah.
And
Seriously, there's pictures of me back from when I was in high school. I do not look like this at all. I actually was skinny. My face was skinny. I had a full head of hair.
I weighed 100, and it was estimated I weighed, when I ran track, I weighed 120 with 10 pounds of weights on my leg.
Wow.
But then I went into the Army, and I came out about 160, 170.
Yeah, but it was probably muscle, right? I
It was a lot better, but then there's now,
Good times.
Well, kids are always funny when they look at who is that? That's me. Oh, yeah,
I'm going to bring you a picture next week.
who's that? Who's that? That's your mother. And they look like,
Yeah.
it's like they're amazed that,
So is our schedule normal next week? We're back on Monday. Everything's normal.
I won't be here.
You won't be here.
No, because I'm going to be having my daughter's coming in from Minnesota, so we're going to.
All right. So
I probably won't be back in time to do the show, so.
But the following Monday we should
should
be
be
back.
okay.
Okay. So next week, do not expect a new show.
I'll tell them I apologize, but last week I had a very important pension meeting, and due to the fact you couldn't be on.
I was having eye surgery. Hey, you know that saying? What's that? What's that? If something about sticking a needle in your eye. What's that? Wish I may. I wish I might. Something.
Did you have a needle in your eye?
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at. I literally have been getting needles in my eye.
Yeah, I know another person very close to me is getting it done.
Yeah,
My wife and.
Yeah, it's not hard, but it's not easy. That's why I was out.
I actually had some surgery in my eye that cleaned up some bad vision and stuff. And boy, I tell you, it's great. But the thought of somebody messing around my eye.
You know what? It doesn't.
It's a good thing. I'm not allowed to say it, but it's a good thing Dr. Zim's such a nice guy. He did a nice job.
I could bring you pictures of my surgery because I've had 3 different types of surgeries. I've had needles. I've had vitrectomy, which is where they go in and they take a layer out, and then I've had laser retinal surgery to stop stuff in the back. So I can do anything with my eyes. I could just grab them, and I don't care.
I asked my doctor. I said I want the Superman stuff.
Yeah. If you're going to go in there, I'd better be able to see through freaking walls when you're done.
Doesn't work. It's like those glasses you bought when you were a kid.
Yeah. Well, Kaz,
I guess we're
good.
So happy Turkey Day.
Happy Gobble Gobble Day for those of
Hope
you.
everybody's together with family and friends.
For my vegan friends, happy Tofurkey Day. Tofu turkey.
And if you're Johnny Madden, you get the turkey with 6 drumsticks on it.
Is that a radioactive turkey?
No, or you get a Turduncan.
Turduncan. Oh, man, no. All right. Goodbye, Erie. Goodbye.
Adios. Turduncan. You ever hear that one?
I have.
We had an argument about the ultimate.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.